Hey everyone, I'm Nathan with the ebookreader.com. So for this video, I'm going to give you guys a review of the new Sony DPT-RP1. This is the second generation PDF reader from Sony. It's got a 13.3-inch ink screen. It's a very unique device. So this model has the upgraded screen. It's got higher resolution. It's got better contrast with the Carta screen over the previous model. So that's got some really cool hardware features going for it. I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about that. It's also got a couple disappointing software issues. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the good stuff first, and then we'll get on to the software as well. So as far as the build quality of this thing, it's absolutely incredible. It's very thin and light. I mean, everything's on one flush layer here with the screen. This thing is super thin. I mean, it only weighs like a little over 12 ounces, and the 13-inch iPad, for comparison, is like 1.5 pounds. So I mean, it's on a different level. It's absolutely amazing how thin and light it is. You have to like try it in person to really get a feel for it. So up here it's got this button, and there's a little bit of waviness to the bezel right there because the button goes underneath the bezel. It's on the front of the device there at the top of the screen. So you push that for a couple additional options. So let's go ahead and switch this over to a different camera angle to kind of show the screen a little bit more. I really like the ink screen on this thing. The 13.3-inch screen is obviously the strong suit. It's got like 206 ppi. It's really nice and sharp. The text looks nice and dark here. Let's do a little bit of a close-up of the text here. I'll swing this around. So yeah, the text, it looks really good. This is obviously the strong suit of this device. PDF, this is just the natural size of the PDF. Of course, this device only supports PDFs, no other format, so that's its specialty. Unlike the previous model, this one does not have internet access or a web browser, so you have to transfer everything using the Sony app. I'll talk about that a little more later. So it also has this Stylus Pen that it comes with, so you can write notes on the screen, you can do drawings, you can just do freehand notes like in a notepad. So the stylus has these two buttons on it. There's the lower button is the eraser, so you just hold that to erase. And then the upper button is for highlighting. You hold that down and you can add highlights. It actually works really quick and is quite accurate, so that works well. So here's like a closer look at the stylus. There's a couple of different tips it comes with, kind of a different feel for writing, and you can buy new different ones, of course. And then it's got this little top that pulls off, and that's how you charge it. It's got the USB charging port in there, and it's got a little light right there. And then this little fin sticks into these little slots on the side of the reader. There's one on each side, and you can just put the pen in there. So it sticks pretty well. Kind of, if you like jostle it, it'll pull it out. But it's a pretty good place handy place to keep it so you don't lose it. So then the pen, it's only used for writing. Like if you're trying to like turn pages with it, it'll just write on the screen. Unlike some stylus devices, or if you like tap a link or something, it'll just sort of write on the screen. So you have to use your hand for that kind of stuff. So you do switch back and forth between the pen and the hand. You can use the pen on the menu up here. So we have this menu bar. You can use the pen on any kind of menus to interact with it, but like on the screen itself, you need to use your fingers. So over here, we've got the list of your recent documents, and you got a couple different sorting options. Then over here, we've got this thing adjust, like you got different adjustments for the pen. They call it red and blue, but it's basically just dark and light. So we got the kind of two different colors for the pen there, and then you've got the different sizes you can set for on here. You got thin and really thick, so that's the really thick one. And you can set it to smaller versions. There's some different options to get it set how you want to use it. And then there's this little option for the eraser. You got some different eraser sizes. So again, you just hold that button and you can erase stuff really quickly. You just got to go over the solid line. So you don't have to go over the whole line. So over here we've got the list. So this is the search menu. So you can run searches within the document. So here's something that's kind of different, is you can use these special like symbols to find documents that way. So if we put an X with a line through it, you can run searches that way to find stuff. So it's kind of like a different way of using bookmarks, because there actually isn't a way to actually add bookmarks to documents. But if you either write on a document, it'll show up in the annotations list, or if you use these like special symbols, you can search for them. So it's kind of like the same concept as bookmarks, but it's a little bit different. I don't know. And then so we kind of have the similar sort of layout with this list for your annotations. So anytime you write on the screen or write on a page, it'll get added to your annotations list. So I have some different, like page 1 right here. So like, and if you add highlights, you got the highlight section right here. So if you want to highlight something, you got the option to jump to it this way. So this brings me up to a really weird thing with this device that I just cannot comprehend. It's boggling my mind. it doesn't have any way to like conveniently navigate a PDF. There's no table of contents. So as you see, I highlighted the table of contents just to get to it. And then there's no way to like enter a specific page number to go back pages. Like once you jump pages, all there is this page dial at the very top of the screen. And it's not really accurate enough to jump to specific pages. I mean, you can scroll along like this, and you can kind of get there, like if I wanted to go to a specific page number, but it usually will end up jumping like 1 or 2 or 5 pages off, so you kind of have to fine tune once you get there. So very inconvenient. I cannot comprehend how this device doesn't have any like PDF navigating features at all. I mean, you just can't do anything. If you hit a hyperlink and you go far into the PDF, you have no way of going back to the previous page other than just using that dial. So even my old Kindle Paperwhite, which I use for PDFs, this is the exact same PDF. It's got a table of contents, no problem. So it also has the page enter. You can enter an exact page number to jump to. I mean, it just boggles my mind that the Sony specialized PDF reader doesn't have these kind of features. I mean, it makes it awkward to navigate a PDF. And so, I mean, I think they're going to have to add those features eventually. It just seems crazy to me. So this is another thing that the Sony reader doesn't have. It doesn't have any kind of pinch zooming. It doesn't have any kind of scrolling, which I find very odd. So another thing the Kindle has that it doesn't have, you highlight a word, you get the dictionary. You can actually add notes to specific highlights. So another odd thing with the Sony, you can't add notes to specific highlights. You can only add notes like on the page. So as far as the pinch zooming with the Sony, it opens up this 12-page view. So it's not actually any kind of pinch zooming, but that motion brings up this 12-page view, and you can scroll through pages this way. So this is literally like the only way to navigate through a book, which I find just absolutely incomprehensible. So, I mean, I can't see them not updating the firmware on this. So I would suggest checking my website, keeping updated on this, because it just makes no sense to me that there's no way to like easily navigate a PDF. So I don't know. That's the main software failing that I see. Let's talk about some of these other features. So you got these zooming options. So you can circle around something to zoom in once you hit that zoom icon. Or another option to do is once you hit the zoom icon is you can tap and it will zoom in on that section. The problem is it doesn't always zoom in right. Like you can see right here, it cuts off part of the page. Then like I said, there's no scrolling. Like inexplicably, you can't scroll. So you'd have to like zoom out and then rezoom in using the circle method. So yeah, it's a couple of really bizarre things about the software they're really lacking on, a couple of really basic features. I really hope that they add those because it would really improve the functionality a lot with this. So we got some basic stuff like you can switch the pages, which way to go left to right. So here's some other stuff in the menu items here. So, I mean, you can rotate the screen if you want to switch over to landscape. So there's some really cool features with the software with this landscape view because you can view 2 documents at once. You can have documents and notes at once. So, I mean, there's some really cool stuff with the software. It's just missing a couple of key features you would think it would have. So like right here, we can do 2-page spread. So if you wanted to view 2 pages of the same PDF at the same time, so then when you turn pages, it will turn both of these. So it's like just looking at it like an open book that way. You have the 2 pages at the same time. So another way to do this is you can actually have, like you could either have a page on one side and notes on this side. So you can have your notes page on this side. The only kind of key problem with this is the notes page is a separate PDF file. So it's not actually tied to this PDF file on the left. So they're actually 2 completely separate different files open in 2 separate windows. So it has its advantages, but like I said, with the notes not being tied to the page, it's a little bit odd sometimes. So you'd have to like specify what page you were referencing or something. So unless you're writing directly on the page. So here's another view. You can actually have 2 PDFs open at the same time, so you can use them independently. So that's a really cool feature here about the landscape modes, having 2 PDFs open at the same time. Or you can even have the same PDF open at the same time and have it in 2 different sections. So earlier I was showing open with the 2-page view, but this has a different page on each side. So your different parts of the book, you essentially have the book open twice in 2 different windows. So you can have this one zoomed in, and you can have the other one totally normal. So that definitely has some advantages. And then another thing, like if you're writing notes with a 2-page open like this, it will be only contained on 1 page. So if the notes are contained each to 1 page, you can't overlap all the pages with the writing. So it doesn't really have a home screen, this device. It has a documents list. You got a couple different options here. You can search, like earlier we had that special character in that one document, so you could search that way. So yeah, you just get like a list of your documents. You can have them in different folders. You can have them in nested folders. You can go up here, hit the home button. You can view the folder layout of your device. And like I was saying earlier, this device requires using the Sony app for PC and Mac computers. So it has some advantages, like you can sync Dropbox with that app. You can't sync Dropbox with this device directly. It has no internet capabilities whatsoever. It has Wi-Fi, but that's only for connecting, like sending documents to your device from your computer. So it has no internet access, but you can, like I said, sync with Dropbox. You can sync with other note applications. So here's a closer look at the note. This is like one of the sample notes. I can't write on the screen for crap at this angle. So here's just like a quick look at it. You have a slight delay. I don't know. It kind of depends on your how you write. I mean, it might bug you, it might not. It's not that big of a deal for me, but it's kind of nice. You can have a notepad open in a second window with your like PDF on one side, and you got the notes on the other. So it does have that advantage with that. So here's kind of a closer look at the screen. So like text, images, they do look really good on this 13.3-inch e-ink screen. Text is very clear and easily readable, nice and dark. So yeah, I do really love the screen. The hardware is just absolutely unbelievably thin and light. You really got to try this thing out. But like I said, some of the software things are just a little bit strange, not having table of contents support and stuff like that. But I'm really confident that they'll add that via a software update. It seems like they pretty much rewritten the software from the first version. It doesn't have really many similarities at all. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this review. Check out the ebook reader blog for more updates. I'm going to post more reviews of this device. So I'll put the link to the Sony DPT-RP1 section of my blog on the description of this video so you can easily find updates and additional reviews. Thanks for watching. Bye.